Have you ever felt like you're just running on a hamster wheel, kind of caught up in the same mental loops day after day? Well, today, we're diving into a concept called Satori, or enlightenment. But hold on, this isn't about escaping reality to go sit on a mountaintop somewhere. It's about finding a really practical way to get a look under the hood, to understand the very operating system of our own minds.
So, how do we actually get there? Let's use this as our guide for the whole journey. Imagine the path to clarity isn't some single narrow trail through the woods, but a two-lane highway. Two different ways to travel for sure, but they're both headed to the exact same destination. This one idea is the key to everything we're about to unpack.
So here's our roadmap. First, we're going to map out the common obstacles that keep us all feeling stuck. Then, we'll explore those two lanes on our highway, the path of faith and the path of wisdom. And finally, we're going to see how both of these lanes merge into one powerful insight that puts you squarely in the driver's seat of your own life.
Okay, before you start any journey, right, you have to know what's blocking the road. And in this philosophy, the biggest obstacles aren't out there, they're in here. They're these internal patterns of thought and emotion that just completely cloud our perception of reality.
These are what the philosophy calls the 6 worldly desires. And let's be honest, we all know the first 5 pretty well. Greed, anger, ignorance, arrogance, and doubt. They're like the emotional static on a radio that just garbles the signal. But it's that 6th one, wrong views, that's the sneakiest, and honestly the most fundamental roadblock of them all.
So what in the world are wrong views? This isn't just about having an incorrect opinion, about a movie or something. No, we are talking about deep-seated fundamental misunderstandings about the very nature of who we are and how the world actually works. It's like trying to navigate New York City with a map of London. You're just going to get lost.
And these wrong views aren't just one thing. They include thinking this physical body is the real you, full stop, or getting stuck in extremes, like believing everything just blinks out at death, or that this exact self of yours goes on forever, totally unchanged. At their core, they're any rigid belief that prevents us from seeing the world as it truly is, constantly in motion. They are super subtle, but man, are they powerful traps for the mind.
Okay, so how do we get past these roadblocks? Let's look at the first lane on our highway, the path of transcendence through belief, which is known as Shingeru-datsu.
This path is called Shinja-datsu, and it means liberation through belief. The idea here is that a powerful faith, a deep trust in a principle that's way bigger than your own confusion, can act like a sword, just cutting straight through all those worldly desires and wrong views. It's about using belief as a tool for clarity. Now, this might seem a little counterintuitive in our skeptical world, but according to this teaching, faith isn't a weakness. The ability to genuinely trust in a correct principle is actually seen as the first stage of enlightenment itself. It's the key that unlocks the door and gets the whole engine started. So that's our first lane, the path of faith, which uses belief to rise above the tangled mess of our obstacles. But the highway has another lane, and the path of wisdom doesn't go over the obstacles. It takes them apart, piece by piece, using the power of direct understanding.
This second path is called Ego-datsu, or liberation through wisdom. So if the first path is about trust, this one is all about insight. It's for those of us who need to see the mechanics of reality for ourselves through logic and direct observation.
The path of wisdom follows a really clear 3-step logical chain. It's like a series of dominoes. Once you truly grasp the first insight, the next 2 inevitably follow. It all begins with observing that everything is impermanent.
The first domino to fall is impermanence. Simply put, nothing is static. Your body, your thoughts, the world, it's all in constant flux. The person you were yesterday isn't exactly the person you are today, and truly internalizing this constant state of change is the crucial first step on this path.
And this leads to the second unavoidable insight. If everything changes, then our attachment to things as if they were permanent is a guaranteed recipe for suffering. It's that friction we feel every single day when reality refuses to match our desire for things to just stay the same.
And this leads to the profound conclusion. If everything you can point to, your body, your thoughts, your possessions, is impermanent and a potential source of suffering, then where is the permanent, unchanging self? The conclusion of this path is that the idea of a solid, independent me is an illusion. There's no static self to be found.
Okay, that is a lot to take in. I mean, if there's no self, then who is listening to this right now? It sounds like a paradox, doesn't it? But our final section resolves it with a single, beautiful concept that explains how we can exist in a world that's constantly changing. This is the big question.
If a fixed, separate self is an illusion, then what are we? Are we just nothing? Far from it. The answer lies in this powerful idea called dependent origination.
This concept, called enji in Japanese, is the master key. It states that we aren't isolated entities. Instead, we are temporary manifestations that arise, exist, and pass away based on a vast web of causes and conditions. You exist because of everything else.
And you can understand enji from two perspectives. Spatially, it's about interconnection. You can't exist without your family, your community, the air you breathe, the food you eat. This understanding naturally leads to a call to love and compassion. And temporally, it's about cause and effect. Who you are today is the result of past causes, and what you do now becomes a cause for your future.
This right here is the most empowering takeaway of this whole thing. This isn't fate. It is the absolute opposite of fatalism. It means your life is not predetermined. Every thought you have, every action you take right now is a seed you're planting for the person you will become. You are always at the cause point of your own future.
The source material leaves us with this powerful call to action. This isn't some far-off goal for a future time. The journey on these two paths, whether it's through the power of faith or the clarity of wisdom, begins today, right now, from this very place.
So, we're left with this. If the seeds you plant in your mind today create the reality you'll inhabit tomorrow, what will you choose to plant?